Hey, lady. I got something for you. It's hot. Careful.
What is it?
Pumpkin pie spice or pumpkin spice latte. I don't know why I can't ever get the name right.
We'll call it pumpkin pie. My favorite.
Hey guys, so today I want to make a pumpkin spice latte for my wife. She's outside doing a garden tour for you guys. We haven't done one in a while, and we've made a lot of changes. We've added like our tropical area for Holly. She's gonna show you that, and we added some pretty lights and just updates on the garden and how things are growing. Our loofah vines are looking insane. Also, wanted to show you guys the recipe for the pumpkin spice latte. It was hugely requested. I know a lot of you guys on our Facebook group really wanted to know. So here I'm just gonna grab some grass-fed butter. I love the Kerrigold one from the fridge. I love the little sign my son made here in the fridge. Get the apple juice in the fridge. So apparently he wants to remind us to get the apple juice. But I have a little pot here and I have the grass-fed butter. So next we need to make the coffee because there is coffee in this pumpkin spice latte. Okay, so I added some water to our coffee pot thing, you know, like the tea kettle, the electric one. Nowadays they have these at Amazon. They have a whole bunch of different kinds you could get, and it'll boil water pretty quickly. So I set mine for 212 degrees, and let's see if yeah, there we go. It's on. So I set mine for 212 degrees. This will take about maybe 2 minutes to get the water up to temperature. So I like to use a pour over cone. These are like $10 to $15 on Amazon, or you can make coffee however you want, but I don't really have a coffee maker or pot because I don't really make coffee that often. But I just put some coffee grounds in here and pour hot water over it. I'll show you once the water is ready. But I wanted to show you the coffee that we use, which is the Life Boost brand. We're not sponsored or anything by them, but I love that they're organic. They're also low acid. I don't know if you can see that there, but they are low acid and they're tested for mold. So a lot of coffee can be full of mycotoxins and things like that. So you're gonna need some organic pumpkin. I get mine in a can, organic pumpkin puree. And I don't really have the can to show you, but what I do is when I open the can, I actually have these. I don't know if you guys have ever used these. If you have kids, you kind of make their meals here or something. But I just freeze the organic pumpkin in here. And the reason I do that is when I open the can, if I leave it in the fridge for 1 or 2 days, I just always feel like it molds really quickly. So I like to just open the can, use the little bit that I use, and freeze the rest, and then I just thaw it out. So let's go ahead and get this cooking. So I'm gonna put this on like medium heat, and then I have the pumpkin here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. So I have here a kind of cube of pumpkin. This is probably, I would say, nearing 2 tablespoons-ish. And I'm going to show you the recipe for probably like about one portion for a person. All right, so I like to make this with raw milk for my wife. I don't drink a ton of dairy, but I actually do fine with raw milk. And again, I never really measure because I made this recipe up. So I'm kind of trying to make this recipe as we go so that you guys can have something. So I'm adding about a cup here of raw milk, and you can use whatever milk you like. So I got about 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. I got about a cup of milk, and these measurements are up for change because again, I'm making this recipe as we go. I'll put the recipe in the description. I'll type it up once I come up with it, but I'll show you the process of me coming up with it as we go. Okay, so here I have my coffee. I like to store some coffee that, you know, just to have on hand here, and then the rest I kind of keep in the freezer. Now, how much for a cup? I don't really know. I'm going to make a little bit extra. Ooh, spilled some there. I'm going to make a little bit of extra coffee so that I can just have it in the fridge for iced coffee, or sometimes we like to make a baked good like a gluten-free chocolate muffin or something, and I like to add coffee to that. Look at all my mess. So I have about 2.5 tablespoons of coffee grinds there. And then I'm going to make the pour over. So all you do for a pour over is you just pour some hot water over it. And then they say to let it bloom for like 30 seconds or so, just to kind of let the water absorb into the coffee grounds. And then you see that drip down there. And then once that water kind of drips down, I'll keep adding more until I brewed enough coffee. While the coffee is going, let's not forget to stir our milk. Whoa! So this is just the milk and the pumpkin right now. Once we get that coffee made, we'll add that here and we'll add the rest of the ingredients. So I don't know if we shared a ton about our chickens lately. I know I gave you the tour of our coop. We've worked on it more, so it's actually even further, developed or whatever. But I wanted to show you guys our eggs. Look at these bowls of eggs that we have. So we have 2 full bowls. Look at this, of beautiful eggs. And it's so fun because some are almost pinkish colored like that. This is kind of like a paler. This is a typical like brown, really beautiful color. And then we have these really pretty kind of robin's egg green blue color. And it's so cute. When they start laying, they're so tiny. Like this egg is absolutely tiny. Let's see if you compare that tiny egg with a more normal sized egg, I guess. So we're getting about 12 eggs a day. Right now, maybe 13. I think somebody else started laying. But it's been so fun. We have enough to give to our in-laws and to people and friends. It's super fun. So I got distracted because I saw pretty eggs. The coffee is ready. Let's keep making the drink. So the coffee is ready. I'm going to set these grounds aside. Don't throw these away. You can use these in your compost, or you can use these, just sprinkle them around your plants that like more acid, so like your tomatoes, your blueberries, if you have blueberry bushes, that's great. So I have about a 1/4 cup here of coffee. My wife doesn't love her pumpkin spice latte super coffee forward or bitter. I do like a little more coffee, but I'll taste it. I'm just going to add a 1/4 cup to start with, just for the recipe's sake. So I have a 1/4 cup here of the coffee. I have a cup of that milk, and I have the maybe 2.5 tablespoons I'll put in the recipe of the pumpkin puree. Now we're just going to whisk that. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter, just like that. And the butter gives it more healthy fats. We're big proponents of healthy fats in our diet. We love grass-fed butter. But also the butter, we're going to put this in the blender, or if you have a magic bullet, I might actually do that because I have a magic bullet. But if you put it in the magic bullet, it will froth it and give it a lot of foam on top, which we love. Look at the creature in her natural habitat. Giving you guys a video garden tour. She looks pretty happy. Hi, lady. You're going to get a pumpkin spice latte soon. And look at that fun. I don't know if you guys can see right there. We added some lights to the garden. Ooh, bird. Okay, back to the pumpkin spice latte. Butter is almost melted. Let's add some spices. Okay, so we have pumpkin pie spice. This is pumpkin pie spice that we get from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's really potent. I love it. We are going to put in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to say 8 shakes. Whatever that ends up being. I'm going to say about 1/8 of a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. We'll adjust that later. I'm going to taste it and then see. But that's about, because it does change the color, and I can tell too by the color and the smell. So that's about 8 shakes worth of pumpkin pie spice. Okay, and for our sweetener of choice, we use organic maple syrup. So I'm going to add 1 splash, 2 splash. So 2 teaspoons, 3 teaspoons. 3 and a splash. So 3.5 teaspoons or so. Gonna whisk that in. We're getting close to done. This is pretty much how I make recipes every time. I don't really ever measure. I just kind of dump stuff. So walking you guys through how I make it is kind of fun. So I'm gonna taste it here. Oh, that's good. Sweetness is good. The butter really just kind of, once it's blended, it won't feel as oily. It'll feel like really frothy and creamy. The coffee taste is really well balanced. Pumpkin pie spice is good. Ooh, I did forget. Let's grab a little bit of salt. I do like to add a pinch of salt right here. Oh, just a pinch. I'm not even going to put that as a real measurement. The salt really just, I put that in any kind of dessert or sweet thing. Helps balance that sweetness. So what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Sometimes I do add vanilla to this. You can. If you don't have it, you don't need to. It's optional. I'm not doing it today because I don't have it. And honestly, it really doesn't make a huge difference. I just add it because it sounds good. Okay, and my last secret ingredient, totally optional because it is a little hard to find, is the sweet leaf stevia. It's pumpkin spice flavored. We do like stevia here. I know a lot of people don't like the taste of stevia. I like the sweet leaf brand because it does taste truer to what stevia tastes like. We grow stevia in our garden, and we actually powder it. So you just dry it, you can powder it, and then put that in your teas or drinks. You can make lemonade. So water, stevia powder, and lemons. We make our own. And when we make our own, this stevia to me tastes the closest to what our stevia tastes like. And it doesn't have other fillers like, I know some stevias have like maltodextrin, like corn based sweeteners and other, or kind of fillers just to try to make it 1-to-1 in terms of a ratio for sugar. Anyway, so pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice stevia, the reason I like to add it, it's kind of like how Starbucks and other places add syrups to things, but this is more of a natural syrup. So I like to add about, I don't know, 6 to 8 drops around there. You don't need a ton. It just really gives it that extra, like, almost fake taste. And I don't mean fake. You know what I mean? Like, something you can buy, but you can't make at home, if that makes sense. It just gives it a little extra oomph. So if you want to get that pumpkin pie stevia, I will leave a link in the comments. I think I got it from Amazon because I couldn't find it at any of the stores. And I've had it for a year plus because I don't really use it a ton. But I use it for this and a few other recipes. So we are done. I think I'm going to call it good. I think that's going to be the recipe. Next time I make it, I'm not even going to follow my own recipe. I'm just going to make it. It always turns out different, but pretty close to the same taste. Okay, so the next steps are to take the latte and pour it into whatever blender you have. I'm just going to use a magic bullet because it is a portion for one person. And then we are going to blend this up. Okay, so here it is. Look how foamy and beautiful it is, and look how creamy that is. I love it. Look, all that. My recipe made a perfect cup. Oh, that's awesome. I just guessed on everything and it worked out. Look at that nice foamy foam. Ooh. And I'm just going to top it off with just a tiny little bit of pumpkin spice right here. So we just add a little pumpkin pie spice just on top just to make it fun. And that's it. Oh, that's great. And I'm not just saying that. Ooh, I love the grass-fed butter. 2 tablespoons for one person might seem like a lot. We're fans of grass-fed butter and, the health of it. A lot of people are, against fat and all that. We are not. Bring the fat on because we believe it's healthy. And that's what we teach our patients. So it really helps, kind of like when you add heavy cream to something, right? It just really helps get that whipped cream kind of frothy top on it. So the first inch is just literally pure foam. And also just to let you know, I did clean up the kitchen somewhat because I know I made a fun drink and I made a mess. She'd be thankful for the drink, but maybe not so much for the mess. So I made sure that I cleaned the kitchen. Okay, let's go give the pumpkin spice latte to her. Hey, lady. I got something for you. It's hot. Careful. Pumpkin pie spice, or pumpkin spice latte. I don't know why I can't ever get the name right.
We'll call it pumpkin pie. My favorite. Oh, it is hot, but it's my favorite when it's really hot. Oh, it's so good and so real. I always tell Sebastian I love when it burns going down.
I call you grandma.
Calls me a grandma. Look at that.
How's the tour?
That's the best. It's like real pumpkin flavor, not a syrup. Because I don't usually. Does it have coffee in it?
Yes, I told him that you only like.
Yeah, I usually don't like coffee, like a lot of coffee.
Super coffee strong, so I tried to make up a recipe, as you know how that went. So I did about a 4th cup of coffee for the whole thing. So not a ton.
I love it. Oh, it's my favorite. Thank you, friend. That's so fun.
How'd the video go?
Really good. I was showing them how some stuff looks dead from the deer.
Oh, well, yeah, the zucchini's kind of kaput.
And just from the summer needing
and the deer
to be
took...
switched out. But there's beautiful things too.
There is, yeah, look at all that. Yeah. Beautiful flowers.
Flowers are really...
You showed them that. I'll put it in the video.
I love it. Thank you, Fred. That's
oh, you're
so
welcome.
special and so fun. Makes
Enjoy.
my day. Thank you. I love you.
Bye. Love you. So I would call that a success. She loved it. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I did make a cold version, and I usually make a cold version for myself because I tend to like cold drinks as opposed to hot drinks. And how you could do that is you can take that same recipe and just either put it over ice. I would let it cool first, or just kind of, you know, go room temperature and then add ice to it. Or you can let it go room temperature and then blend it up with some ice. And my secret ingredient, I add like a 1/4 teaspoon of arrowroot powder. And if you're not familiar with arrowroot powder, it's kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with xanthan gum. I do know that a lot of Starbucks drinks, they add xanthan gum in it, and xanthan gum will help blend it without it separating. Because I don't know if you've ever made a blended drink where the water kind of separates from the ice and it's kind of like a slushy more than a, like, I don't know, like a smoothie, I guess. So the arrowroot powder really helps to bind the drink. You don't taste it at all, and it's a lot better for you than cornstarch or xanthan gum, in our opinion. So if you want to make a blended drink or a cold drink, you can make it that way. Again, I'll leave the recipe in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We will see you in the next one. Bye.